Hi everybody, it's Kay, and today I'm bringing a tutorial on how I made this mini album right here. This was a design team project for Authentique, and I used their fabulous Easter themed collection Jubilee. And I made this crisscross accordion pocket mini album. This is the name that I gave it. Basically because of how the pockets are made. They're made in a crisscross fashion, which makes it a little different from your typical pocket mini albums. So I had a lot of requests and can't even talk right. I had a lot of requests and questions on how I made the mechanism that holds the actual tags, or in other words, the pockets. And that's what I'm going to show you today. It's actually really easy and quick. And that is how this project even came about. I needed to do something really fast, short amount of time, and this goes together pretty fast. So let's get started. So you're gonna need, for the pockets, you're gonna need 6 pieces of cardstock measuring 4 inches by 12 inches. Okay, so I have already cut these out. So I have them here. So, and I've already gone a little ahead of schedule here. I just want to get through this ASAP. So just trust me that these were originally 6 strips of 6 inches by 4 inches. I prefer to do double-sided cardstock, and that is really best for this because when you do the crisscrossing, you're really going to see both sides of the paper, so make sure you have double-sided paper. So you have 6 pieces. Here's your other 2. Take 2, put them aside for now. And you're gonna take 4. 2 from, 4. So now you're gonna take these 4, measuring 4 by 12, and you're gonna score them all exactly the same way, which is what I've already done. I've already done the scoring. So you're gonna score them at, where's my bone folder? You're gonna score them at 4 inches and 8 inches. All right. So once again, you're going to score them at 4 and 8 inches, and then you're going to fold them zigzag way or accordion way. And you're going to do that for all 4 strips the same way, which is what I've already done here. So here are my 4 that I've already done. All right. So you take those aside, and now you take the other 2 strips. The other 2 strips that you have left, you're going to trim them down to 9 inches, 4 by 9. So you're going to end up with a 4 by 9 inch piece of paper. So this one I haven't done yet. This one I have. So put this aside. Take the trimmer out, and let's do this one real quick. Yep. You're going to score at 1/2 inch, four and 1/2 inches, and 8 1/2 inches. So once again, you're going to put your piece of paper or cardstock, and on a 9-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 4 1/2 inches, and 8 1/2 inches. Now you can put your scoreboard away. And the way you're going to fold these pieces of paper is you're going to fold the little 1/2 inch flap down. Again, it's going to be zigzag or accordion style. So down, that way, and this way. So, and there you go. It's going to end up looking like that. Let's see. Like that. So you have 2 pieces that are going to look like that. All right. And don't forget to burnish all your scoring. That's very important as well. So make sure you burnish. Burnish everything, and that includes these strips as well. Now, what you're gonna do is, you're basically gonna use these 9-inch strips to connect 2 of your longer strips together. So basically what you're gonna do is, nope, actually I take that back. Before we start joining them together, we're going to cut into the strips in order to make this design right here. So if you notice that they have a sort of like a V or M-shaped design in the middle, that's what we're gonna do now. So we do that part first. So in order to start making the design, you're gonna take one of your 4-inch by 12-inch strips of paper, and you're gonna fold it together to form a 4-inch by 4-inch square. Then what you have to do is you have to find the center of this square. So the way I do it is, and I've already done it here, although it's kind of hard to tell because of the dark cardstock that I'm using. Take a pencil, because then you can erase it if necessary, your ruler, and the way I do it is I measure 2 inches from the bottom, 2 inches, and I make a mark, and then I go to the side and I measure 2 inches from the side and I make a mark. And then wherever those 2 marks crisscross, that's your center. Then what you do is, right on the center mark, which is right here, in my case, you take your ruler again, and you're gonna make a V shape like this. So you're gonna go to the very, let's do it this way. You're gonna go to the very corner up here, and then you're gonna match that to the center of your square, like that. And then you're gonna make a line. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. You get the right on the corner, right here on the very, very corner, and then match that up to the center of your square and make a mark. Okay? Once you have this V here, that's your template. So then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut that out. And you're going to end up with something like this. Okay? Now this is going to be your template. So now you're going to take your next strip. And mind you, this is double-sided, right? So with this one, I already picked the design that's going to be on the outside, which is the polka dots. So now I have to make sure that I stick with the same design, that I don't flip it over and use the other side, which is a different design. It's like a trellis. So in keeping with this design, I'm going to take the other piece of cardstock and I'm going to fold it in the same way. I'm going to create my V, and I'm going to use this as my template. So I'm going to put it right on top, and I'm going to trace the design right here. And once I have that, I'm going to cut this out too. All right, there you go. So now you have these 2 pieces of paper like this. And let me get rid of my pencil marks here because they're bothering me. You don't have to, because eventually this is going to be hidden kind of. But it bothers me. That's just how I am. And still using the original template, stick to the original template, because then when you put one on top of the other, you're always going to be a smidge off, right? Because of all the thickness of the paper. So keep using the original template, the first one that you cut out. And you're going to grab one of the smaller strips of cardstock, which is the 4 by 9 inch. And you're going to do the exact same thing with this one. You're going to fold it down, and you're going to put your template on top, trace, and cut out. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, there you go. So half of your crisscross accordion pocket is done. Now you're going to put these strips aside, and now we're going to do the remaining strips. which is going to be the opposite of what we just did here. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So you're going to do the same thing, and notice how for these I flipped it around. Now I'm not using the polka dots, I'm using the other side now. And you're going to find the center of your square, but this time instead of here, you're going to find it here and on both sides. So you're going to do an inverted V, basically the opposite of what we did here is what you're going to do over here. So let me find my centers. And the way I'm doing this, just to show you, right? So I need to find the middle here, here, and on top. So the way I'm doing it, and I'm sure some of you might come up with a much better way of doing this, but this is the way I'm doing it. I measure 2 inches from the top and I make a mark, 2 inches from the top on this side and I make a mark, and then I put my ruler all the way across the top, measuring 4 inches, and then I just mark the middle at 2 inches. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay. And once you have your 3 marks, all right, you're going to pretty much connect the dots. So you're going to go from here to here and from here to here. And you're going to create an inverted V. And you're going to end up with something like this. Now, the other thing you need to do with these is that you also do have to find the center of the square, because what you're going to do with this one is you're going to cut a slit from the center of the square all the way to the bottom. All right, and you're going to do this for all of them. So let's just do that. I'm going to take my other strip of paper, making sure that I'm keeping consistent with the design. I'm going to place my little template over. I'm going to trace, cut, find the middle mark, make my slit, and I'm going to do the same thing with the 9-inch piece. All right? And that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so here we have it. So we have our 3 strips here, and then we have our 3 strips here. Okay, now what we're going to do is, let's put one of the sets aside and work with the other one. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to put all of these together. We're going to join them all together, and this is going to be your middleman. The smaller, the 4-inch by 9-inch strip, this is what's going to connect the 2 larger strips. So the way you do that is you make sure that they're all facing in the same direction. Something like that. And then you're just going to put some adhesive here, either glue or double-sided tape. on both of these ends right here. And then you're gonna put them together like this. And then this one will go together over here. All right. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, once you're done, it doesn't matter if it's a little wonky. You're gonna fix that now. So basically now you're gonna refold everything and just follow the zigzag form of doing it, the accordion way of doing it. So like this, fold it back, forward, back, forward, back, and forward. There you go. So it doesn't matter how the middleman works, all right? And this is why I say make sure you don't cross over the score lines, because you can basically fold this anyway. You're flexible. So once they're in there, you just have to mold them in the direction that you want them. And there you have it. So now you have one long strip. All right? You're going to put that aside, and you're going to take the other strip, and you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to connect them all together. Same concept. Make sure that your middleman doesn't cross over the score lines. Make sure that they're all facing the right direction. So it would be like this, that they're all facing in the same direction, and just put them together. The same thing you did with the other one. Doesn't matter how wonky or crazy it looks in the beginning, you mold it. Just follow the accordion style of folding. So like that, like this, like that, like this, and there you go. There you go. And here's your other strip, all connected. Alright, I'll be right back to finish off the last step. Okay, I'm back. Let's wrap this up. I had to clean my desk a little bit. It was just too much, it was getting too cluttered. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually make these pockets. And this is where the crisscross name comes from for this mini album. So basically, you're going to take this strip, the one that's in the shape of a V, and you're going to put it right across from the other one, which is your inverted V. And then we're going to put them together in a crisscross way. And the best way that I found of doing this, so I don't get too mixed up, is face them the way I'm facing them right now. So basically, make them fold in the opposite direction of each other. So if this guy is facing this way, it goes, you know, up, down, up, down, up, down, then you want the other one to go up, down, in the opposite direction. So you want to create these little pockets right here. You know, these pockets, they're basically a mirror image of each other. That's what you're creating. And you can see that pretty good from the top. All right, so you got this design going on. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take the strip with the inverted V and the ones that have the slots, this one right here, and each slot you're going to put right in the middle of the V right here. All right, so each center V is going to have one of the slots go right in the middle. So you're going to start putting them together like this. So one goes like that. Take the next one and do the same thing. And the next one and do the same thing. And it just starts falling into place like that. See what I'm doing there? There you go. So it starts forming this kind of design like that. All right. So keep doing that all the way till the end. Take a slot, put it in the middle of the V. Take the next slot, put it in the middle of the V, and just keep going. And fix it along the way so that you're creating these little little like diamond shapes. That's what it looks like from the camera from the top, right? Looks like little diamond shapes. Keep going. Where's my slot? Wait, found the slot there. Oh, here's my slot. Here's my other slot. And here's my last slot. Okay, let's push them down. Make sure that they fall right in the middle of that V. Fix them up nice. And here's your crisscross, right? That's what you did. You literally crisscrossed the two pieces to form your pockets. So now all you gotta do is grab them from the ends and squish them together. Just like that. And this is what you end up with. This is what you should have. All right? Something that looks like that. And these are your pockets. You're made already. So basically, when you start opening it up like that, you could start seeing the design. See? So each one of these is a pocket. There's one pocket. Here's another. Here's another. Here's another. And here's another. All right? So your pockets are made. That's the base of the Mini, and that's all there is to it. I guess the most time-consuming part is just, you know, the tracing and drawing, but I'm sure some of you geniuses out there can come up with better ways than I can. Maybe I do it the hard way. I tend to do things the hard way, because now I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, well, you know, when I take one corner off, why can't I just use that little corner and measure it on the other side to get equal sides? So you could do that too. I just thought about that when I was making this one, but for now, I made it the hard way. A lot of measuring, 2s and 2s, just to get the center of your squares. But as long as you get to the end result, that's all that matters. So this is what you end up with. So you're done. This is it. This is your Mini. Now the next step is to just create the covers, which I used chipboard for the covers, and to create the tags that are going to go inside each pocket. And I'm just going to show you snippets of each piece. I'm not going to walk you through the whole thing. So just snippets. I'll come back and let you know the measurements that I use for the covers and how I made the tags. But the hard part is done, which is the mechanism that creates the pockets for holding your tags. All right, so I'll be right back with the next step. Oh yeah, and before I forget, I'm going to be using the Accolade or Accolade. You know, I'm going to have to find out how you pronounce this. The Accolade. I'm going to say Accolade for now. The Accolade collection by Authentique, which is a graduation themed collection. And now you'll understand why I was using this dark cardstock, because it looks pretty good with this collection. So I figured that graduation pictures is kind of like Easter pictures, right? You have a whole bunch that you just want to quickly put in there and store. And that's why I picked the graduation themed paper, because I figured for graduation you can have a couple of good pictures that you might just want to store in these little tags in this really quick and simple, easy mini album. And it actually does provide a lot of good amount of storage, because since it's kind of like an accordion style, they stretch. So in addition to creating these tags that you can use for putting pictures themselves or memorabilia or journaling, whatever you can use these tags for, there's room in here to put extra tidbits like I did here. I created these extra inserts, right? But you can also just put loose pictures in here. Here it is. I have a wallet-sized picture of my son here. I mean, you could always put little wallet-sized pictures in there, right? Like I just did. You could store that. Or it also can hold 4x6" pictures, just slightly trimmed, because the pockets themselves are 4 inches. So you might have to take like a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch off the pictures, but they fit perfectly in here, in these pockets, if you just trim them. And the 3x5 pictures fit with no problems. You can also put some memorabilia in there, some letters, some notes. It holds a lot. Each pocket can actually hold a lot of things in there. So makes for a quick little mini album, a little keepsake. So, all right, I'll be right back with the next step as I complete this mini album. All right, I'm back real quick just to give you a couple of measurements. So as you can see here, I already have some of the pieces of my tags cut out. and I've got the cover of my mini pretty much done. So I've used not medium, lightweight chipboard for the covers, and the covers measure 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 with a 1-inch spine. All right, so that's the measurements for the cover. 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, 1-inch spine. And for the tags, these are my tags. So there are 7 pockets in here. That's what you end up with. So you need 7 tags. And I've went with the Kraft cardstock, which I think goes really well with this, the color theme of this collection. And the tags measure 3 3/4 by 6. So once again, the tags measure 3 3/4 by 6. And these are all the mats that I'm gonna put on the tags front and back. And all these mats measure 3 1/2, I believe. Yep, 3 1/2 by 5 3/4. Yep, 3 1/2 by 5 3/4. So that will leave about 1/8 of an inch all the way around border. Let's see, a border of about 1/8 of an inch, so it'll look like that. All right, so I'm gonna pretty much follow the same decorations that I used on this one, the same technique. I'm gonna round the edges of all my tags like I did for this one. And as you can see, I'm following the same concept for the outside covers by adding the, a little cover for my spine here. And I'm probably gonna add some kind of glitter washi right here on the edges. The only change that I'm probably gonna do with this one is that I'm gonna add a ribbon closure, because the only thing I wasn't too happy about this one is that you can't really throw this in a bag or anything like that, because things easily fall out from this side. See, as you can see, that things kind of like shift, and the tags could pop out of their pockets easily. They can't really from the sides, but they do from the front. So it's a little too late to add a closure on this one, and I'm trying to come up with, maybe there's another way that I can keep this somehow closed so they don't pop out from the edge like that. I'm definitely going to take care of that issue with this mini. I'm going to create some kind of closure here or something here so that the tags don't fall out. So I'm thinking right now it's probably going to be ribbon. So I'll be right back, and the next step is probably going to be the finished mini album. Oh wait, actually no. I'm going to take one more break, and that is to show you how to adhere your pockets to the covers of your mini album. So in order to get to that point, you have to make sure that the insides of your covers are all matted. You're pretty much done with all the decorating and everything needed for the inside covers. That has to be complete. Once that's complete, that's when you're going to go and adhere the pockets, the crisscross accordion pockets to your mini album. All right, so I'll come back just for that one step, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, so I'm back real quick to show you how you're going to adhere your crisscross pockets to the cover of your mini album. So the cover of my mini album is pretty much done. As you can see, I added the ribbon closures like I said I wanted to, which will hopefully keep the tags from sliding out. So you open up your the inside of your cover and you put it down, and basically you're gonna add glue. If you hold it this way, you're gonna add glue all the way. This is the outer piece of the crisscross, right? So you're gonna put glue all the way up on this one right here, but on the opposite side you're only gonna put glue halfway, so from here down. All right, so let's do that. So you're gonna put glue on this side all the way up, all the way to the tip top, and all the way down. Make sure you don't cross over that slot, that slit right here. You don't want to cross over that. You don't want to put glue on that. You're just putting glue on this area. And then on the other side, you're gonna put glue halfway only. Now I did a bit of experimenting with this, and it just doesn't work as well if I put glue on the entire back, you know, like all the way up here and here and here. It just didn't work right. It wasn't as flexible, so I figured out that this was the most flexible way to do it. Okay, so there you have the glue there and there, and then you're gonna place it down and center it on your back cover. And you're gonna place it, if you have an decorative paper that's covering the back cover, you wanna pretty much put it where you, at the edge, flush against your back paper. Or if you don't, just make sure that you know, there's your spine. You don't wanna go over your spine. So right above your spine is where you wanna put it. So I'm gonna put mine flush against my decorative paper, and then I'm gonna center it, because I want it to be equal on both sides. So I just gotta move it over just a bit, and there it is. So now it's pretty much equal. Okay, and you hold it down, make sure it sticks. And then on the other side, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna put glue, here's your outer piece. You're gonna put glue on this piece all the way up and down, making sure you don't cover the slit right here. You don't want to go over that. So you're going to do all here, and then on the opposite side, you're only going to do halfway down. And then you can kind of open it up and then just put your fingers in there and trying to grab the back pieces, and you can do that like that to help it glue down. And then you can always take a look, make sure that you're even on both sides, and if you need to shift it a little, then you do. And that it doesn't go over into your spine. You don't want it going over into your spine. So that's a good thing why I recommend doing this with wet glue, because you can manipulate it a little bit. You can manipulate it and make sure that it's glue where it needs to go. Okay? And there you have it. So once your mechanism is glued, you could already see the pockets formed. You don't need to glue anything in the middle. This stays open. And that will pretty much keep your cards from falling out, because they're gonna just go up against the spine, and that's it. All right, so I'll be right back in a few with the finished product. Okay, I'm back with the finished product, and here it is. I kept the cover pretty simple. I just cut out one of the cut-aparts from the collection with a quote that I felt described this mini album the best. Follow your dreams, they know the way. And I had this graduation die in my stash, and I thought it was a perfect addition to the front, just to keep it kind of simple and without any specific gender. So I feel that this could go for both a boy or girl. I think it'll work for either one. Here's the back and the front, spine, and here's the ribbon closure. So kept it simple. Open it up, and then it opens up, and there's your crisscross pockets. And these are all the tags, and I did do a couple of these little mini booklets with more of the cut-aparts. Kept the inside blank, and I only put the cut-aparts in the front and back. So these could be used for storing either journaling or just more pictures. And since each pocket is expandable, you can also tuck in a couple of pictures in here as well, in addition to putting them on the tags. So it's a pretty versatile little mini album, and it holds a lot. I also included cut-aparts by themselves, not part of a booklet. And there's a couple of those tucked in here. There's another one. And I thought I had another booklet. Oh, there it is. There's my other booklet. Back and front. And it opens up. Okay. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And thanks for stopping by, and have a good night.